In Response, a legacy podcast, is brought to you by greatness@anycost.com and austrian-legacy.com. Hello everyone and welcome to the 19th episode, Sedgemoor Witch Bitch of
In Response.
A legacy podcast.
I'm Philip Klein
I am Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
and we're talking about legacy.
Most of the time.
Also in this episode we've got a lot of new information and news for you. At first I think probably the biggest news this time is that we have reworked our logo.
Yeah.
And it's a courtesy of Daniel. You did really great. I mean, the logo is so... yeah, you can pat yourself on the back. It's really
You guys
nice.
can see it, but I'm patting myself on the back. Yeah. At least someone does.
Yeah, we work together, so...
Yeah, I think you gave me the right direction, I think,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And it turned out great, I think. It is simplified logo. You can check it all out yourself on our Twitter account, of course, and where else actually.
I
On
think it's everywhere where our podcast is located.
on
so
Anchor,
on
of course.
Spotify, Anchor, Deezer, and Apple Podcast. And also, and that's the second big news.
Yeah.
You can also find the new logo on our new Patreon.
Nice.
We finally come together and finished our Patreon, and there we have 3 packages for you. The first one would be called Dirty Talk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sucker.
I think the benefit in these packages is that you get a personal shout out from us, just the way you like to be called in our podcast episodes, that you can choose from. And Peter, what is another option you can choose?
Yeah, another option is for the guys that want to do it publicly, and it's called in the act. And there you get an exclusive sticker of our podcast logo sent after 3 months.
Oh
Nice.
yeah. And also for sure you get
For
the
sure, the
shout.
shout out.
So
just the way
basically
you
with
want
all
it.
the packages you get the previous things also.
Yeah, the previous bonus.
And we also had a last package. And Daniel, how about this one?
It is called very simply 3 Guys, 1 Cup. And in these packages, you get the shout out, of course. And what you also get is a special 3 Guys, 1 Cup.
Yeah, you
designed-
get a coffee mug.
That we designed with our new logo. And if you choose to subscribe, you can get it after 3 months of subscription, directly sent to you via
Via
shipping.
Patreon.
Postal service.
Postal service shipping. Yeah.
So what's great about all this? You can support the show, and we will always be free for you, but there will sometimes be Patreon exclusive content or something.
Yeah.
We are not really sure how we will do this in the future, but I think this is a nice baseline that we've drawn here, and yeah, for the foreseeable future, it will be like this, maybe with some benefits in the future.
Awesome.
So, I think that was all the podcast stuff that we had to talk about and that we had to tell ya. At first, we will talk about some private things in our intro.
Why don't you start, Phil?
Oh,
for this
okay.
episode?
Oh my god, I wasn't prepared for this.
Just to change things up.
Okay,
Every once in a while.
yeah, for sure. It's like always very busy for me. I have bought a new PC.
Nice.
It's my old one was from 2011, and I needed something new for Discord and for Zoom and for streaming in general. And I opted for a low budget version for about $600.
Okay.
So Yeah, it's certainly not the best. And in this pandemic, the prices for graphic cards are skyrocketing, like
Yeah.
reserved these cards.
Yeah.
And it's probably impossible to get even a
It's
graphic card from
it's
2
it's
years
insane.
ago.
It's insane. I've bought my graphic card in 2016
That's
or maybe even 2017,
yeah.
and I've bought it for 430 euros.
Mhm.
And the same graphic card, new, nowadays costs between 1,000 and 1,100 euros. So it's
crazy.
It's insane.
it's insane.
The home office, the home building PCs, and of I think also big impact is the Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
basically old crypto mining because
Yeah.
1 month after I bought it, the prices were already at around 650 to 700 for the same graphic card, just because crypto mining
Yeah.
was a thing 1 month later on.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the reason I don't have a graphic card in my newly built PC. But I think that the onboard graphic card from the AMD
The processor.
Do
Yeah.
you have
processor.
a Ryzen?
Ryzen 5, yeah.
Okay.
And
You can upgrade the PC anytime.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I also thought. I mean, this pandemic will end eventually, hopefully, and then everything, maybe not everything, but at least these kind of things will get back to normal, and then I just invest 200 to 300 euros, and then I have my graphic cards. I don't need high end or something. I'm not very much of a gamer. I'm mostly if I play, I'm playing things like Skyrim or
So are you
Modo?
playing, or would you? Also, you wouldn't play Skyrim.
I would play Skyrim.
You would play Skyrim. Okay.
Yeah, I
depending-
played Skyrim on my on my
Laptop?
on my PC that I have now,
Okay.
and I played it for about 300 hours, and I took a look how many frames per second I get with my old PC,
Yeah.
and it's about 14. So I played 300 hours Skyrim with 14 frames per second.
Oh my god, I couldn't even stand it for 1 second.
It's
I'm-
insane.
I'm very how do you call this?
Yeah, simplistic.
Old.
Yeah, I don't need or something like that. I don't need the very shiny and bling graphics
Okay.
and the high frame rates. It just has to work.
Okay.
And I think for this,
You would be
it's-
more than
it's-
satisfied
yeah,
with the
I'm
setup.
definitely satisfied with the setup. And for streaming, it's also kind of great because it's better than the last thing. The only thing that's really strange is I wanted 2 monitors for the new PC, and I bought them from Amazon, and we're not sponsored, by the way.
But you should be.
But Amazon, you are welcome to sponsor our podcast.
But it was kind of strange because they had to be delivered on Wednesday, and then it didn't come, and so they sent me an email. It's delayed, and it takes 2 to 3 days, and then suddenly on Friday night, Friday to Saturday, I get an email at 2 a.m. or something that my order was refunded to my credit card.
Okay.
It was kind of strange because I didn't ask for a refund, and I just wanted to wait for them to come. But yeah, they self-refunded. So yeah, I bought another one. And what was funny is that the better monitors were reduced in the price, were on sale, and they were basically the same price like the one that I wanted at first. So I bought them, and I hope they come tomorrow,
Okay.
and then my setup will be
So-
ready to go.
In the end, it was a better deal then.
Yeah, just with 1 week wait time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that hurts a little bit. But in the end, you get the better monitors,
yeah.
which is great.
If they are coming,
If they're coming, yeah.
Just knocking off some wood here.
you will hear them in the next podcast. And yeah, that was basically it, I think, for me. Only thing, just one thing.
The new
I-
OnlyFans is released from you?
No.
Next time.
But my girlfriend will be on. I'm not sure how do you call it. It's called rehab. It's not rehab. Oh my god, it's a rehab.
Not for drugs.
Not for drugs. No, she had a surgery on her back, and she will be 3 weeks in. Yeah,
Yeah, it's in daily care where they kind of
Yeah, they work with the humans that enter there, and
they provide exercises and
Yeah, basically.
watch what they're doing and have I think some guidelines.
basically some personal trainers
Yeah.
Yeah.
and for food
Yeah.
that you get the right thing. and
yeah. You
stuff
call
like
you
that.
call this kind of
Maybe it
It's
is-
called
It's
Reha
called
in German. So
reha or kur.
So it's played-
And
so
she will be there for 3 weeks, and I'm not really allowed to visit her because of COVID, because of the COVID situation. So I will have a lot more time for streaming and also a lot more time for Magic Online. So I will definitely use this.
So we will be seeing you online and in the streams in the next weeks. Maybe.
Probably, yeah.
that's nice.
Testing my new setup. And that's probably enough from me. I mean, I've talked a little bit much here. Peter, how about you?
Yeah, for me it's a little bit faster to go to. I have just university, some stuff. I'm really enjoying TFT lately.
What is TFT actually?
It's Teamfight Tactics.
Ah, yeah, you
it's
mentioned
like
it
an
last
auto
time.
battler from
Okay.
Yeah.
from Riot Games, where there I'm in the top 4% of Europe.
Nice.
And-
Wow, that's pretty good.
Are
and
there any
I'm in-
rewards for that at some point?
Yeah, you get a special skin after each set that is
Nice.
released. I mean, I'm enjoying the set lately, and yeah, it's basically what I do a lot instead of playing Magic lately. And I'm doing, currently a Pokemon Nuzlocke and enjoying that and playing through my first game.
Have you mentioned this Nuzlocke at some point in the podcast?
I think in the last episode I
Okay.
said that I really, really enjoy watching some
Ju-
YouTube
so-
content.
Just for the viewers, what is Nuzlocke in a nutshell?
It's
basically?
basically playing Pokemon on a level that makes you that you can fail the game. I'm playing it with hardcore Nuzlocke rules, which means I am not allowed to overtrain my Pokemon. So my highest level Pokemon is the highest level Pokemon of the next gym trainer
Okay.
or gym leader. I get only the first encounter in each area, which means I enter the area, I encounter the first Pokemon, I have to catch this Pokemon, or I don't get an encounter for this area.
You get the encounter, but you're not allowed to catch it.
Yeah, you can fight against it just
Okay.
to train up your Pokemon, and you have to give every Pokemon nicknames.
Okay.
So one of my first Pokemon that I got in this run that I'm currently on was my favorite Pokemon, Hitpick 47, and it's died.
Oh no.
Oh no!
But yeah, so it's basically really, really enjoyable, and I'm doing the runs currently a lot with one of our fellow legacy players in Linz. It's Münster, and you will see him, or you will her, or see him later on a stream sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, basically the last thing I did was 20-hour in-game and 10-hour real-life grinding in the Cerulean City game corner just to get the TMs for Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, and Flamethrower.
That's university life as a student, like I imagine it.
And this was only possible because Monday are no homeworks to give
okay.
to get back to university. So
I wasn't even able in the old Pokemon games to play in this
game corner.
game corner.
I mean, the problem is that in Fire Red, which is the game I'm playing, there is only the slot machine, because in the newer games, there you have a game which is basically called Voltorb. It's a Voltorb game. Basically, it's like a game. There you have rows and sections. In each of them, there is a specific amount of balls, which are basically like bombs that you can hit.
Like
And
Minesweeper.
It's basically similar to Minesweeper, yeah.
Okay.
So it's quite different to Minesweeper, but you have to just avoid the bombs and then you get good rewards. And there is this really, really easy to grind money on, but
Okay.
the old games are hard. So, yeah, happens.
Happens.
Okay,
But-
and we're just wrapping this up. Daniel, what are some
yeah.
news from you?
Yeah, I have a lot of work to do at the university. I'm just about to hand in the paper that I previously mentioned. I think in the last or the
I think it's 2 or 3 podcasts ago,
oh
actually.
yeah, okay. A lot of work went into the stuff, but we are about to publish my paper. It
Okay.
is my professor has the final touches on the subject basically, and then we're handing it in. And for this, I have a lot of things to do at the university. And yeah, today's Tuesday. I just came back from actually a great weekend. I got to get to know my girlfriend's parents and family and friends.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Yeah, she took me home to her hometown, and I think there's no really general way to describe this because you might not know it or the listeners won't know it, but you guys of course know the area or the town. It is a small village, let's say, just in the middle between the Attersee and the Traunsee.
Okay.
Actually, I think some listeners will know this
Really?
because the region where all this is located would be called the Salzkammergut, and
Yeah.
that's where Hallstatt is.
It
And Hallstatt is probably very famous.
yeah, Hallstatt is very famous, but Hallstatt is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's in
it's
the
far
near end.
it's far away, but
Yeah.
but it's in the region.
Yeah,
It's the most prominent
Yeah.
place from the whole region.
and
It's nearer than Vienna, yeah.
for sure, for sure, yeah. It was actually really fascinating for me because I'm not really a city guy, but I always lived in the rural parts of cities, and I get to see really the land side of Austria a little bit more, and it was really fun.
And actually, that's not even the really
Not
rural
really,
area.
not really, but for me it is actually.
Wow,
It is-
there are flowers.
Oh my God, grass!
But
How
yeah.
does that feel? Oh.
What is a lawnmower?
but the landscape is so fantastic, and I brought my
Have you seen this monster?
It's a squirrel. It's a squirrel. You know the magic card.
I also took my racing bike with me, with the intention to go on a bike ride there because there are fantastic places to visit.
But you wrote other things, am I right?
I hope for him.
Well, yeah. What was that? What I want to say? Yeah, like you said, Peter, I didn't get the chance to do that.
Well, that's good for you.
No, because I just had to drink so much alcohol, which is amazing. Because on the first evening we just sat together with her parents and her sister also, and I think I had 5 to 6 beers at this evening, and I was completely hungover for the next one. And it was a full clash of trips. She took me to her women's group that she always meets. She has like a kind of a small group back. Actually, my girlfriend went to Hallstatt in a school there, and then she met some friends of her, and they keep meeting every once a few weeks. And she took me to a meetup with these girls, so that they also could get to know me. And on the same evening, then we visited other friends of her, and this was really amazing because they have how's it called, a Bauernhof.
A farm.
A farm, yeah. And they have a farm which they are building some hotel rooms in there. There are special rooms. When you go to the window of the room, you have a direct sight of the Traunsee and the Traunstein. And you can imagine how amazing and, for example, and also how expensive this location there is. It is amazing. I think it is worth millions.
Yeah, for our listeners, the Traunsee Lake and the most prominent mountain right beside the lake is the Traunstein.
Yeah. Actually. It was a really great weekend, but I was always so hungover that I couldn't really get to use my racing bike. That was the big problem. But they're very great people.
Yeah, it seems like a really busy weekend for you.
Yeah.
You had a lot of things to do.
For sure.
But yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's about it.
And one thing that's also really great, and a huge shout out from us to Joe Dyer. He has invited us again for the third time now to his article for the Legacy Roundtable. And yeah, it was really great to be part of this. Like the last two times, it's always great to be part of this, and Joe Dyer is always a very, very big supporter from our cast. So
Yeah, definitely.
thank you.
Always a
very
pleasure to be there and to share our opinions on different topics.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's always a good time to sit together, think about the format in a really, really deep way, and talk about it. It's basically 2 times an episode for us in preparation and talking to solve these 5 questions.
I think we took 6 hours this time.
I mean, it was 6
Yeah.
hours because we had to do some other stuff, but I think it was about 3 hours that were only 5 questions, so it's a lot to talk about this.
Yeah, for comparison, we take the same amount of time to answer these 5 questions and to make a podcast episode.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
pretty much. So
And with this, we also have made the transition to Magic finally.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, it's been long weeks since we last met and since we last talked about Magic. I don't think you guys have played very much at the moment.
There are not really big opportunities at the moment, so no. And for me, I'm always quite busy with university, so not for me.
So yeah, and you, Peter?
yeah, I've basically had one evening where I played a little bit around with my Grixis Painter pile, which I talked about in the last episode, I think. And was okay, but I was focusing a little bit more on getting to diamond in TFT. And at least
Priorities. You need to get your priorities straight, Peter.
I have to. The problem is, I would play, I think, a lot more on MTGO if we were having tournaments on Fridays, FNMs. It's
the lack of those is really hampering the motivation and the lust to play.
And I mean, it's a small case, but I really like talking about Legacy in the latter times, and for something
but
coming up in the near future, I really like seeing other play.
Oh yeah.
And therefore I'm not playing that much because I can't really watch movies or watch streams while playing Magic myself. But for TFT, it does work because it's not too in-depth looking what the other do. So
Okay.
it's a little bit easier. But we are going to Magic now. I think, Philip, you played a little bit around.
Yeah, also not really much. I had maybe time for, I think, 2 or 3 evenings.
Okay.
And the time wasn't enough to play a whole league. So I just jerked around in the
In the tournament practice
tournament
queue.
practice queue and played my bullshit list. And I gotta say the meta is really interactive at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of Delver,
Mm-hmm.
and
Like always, but yeah.
and Strixhaven has also really made an impact now.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So-
with that, I think this is the topic of the day. Impact
yeah.
of Strixhaven.
Yeah, which bitch?
And yeah, basically we have to talk about 3 topics here. And the biggest topic is smog. And
Which is actually not a Strixhaven card.
yeah, which is Chain of Smog. It's basically the whole, how's it called? The doubling effective
Yeah, copying spells.
The Magecraft, yeah.
Magecraft ability.
yeah.
This
Enabler.
is under Chain of Smog. Then we have some beautiful sideboard or even main deck choices printed, and one small topic in the end for solve the equation, which is basically a new card of Strixhaven. So I think we start off with the first topic,
With-
Chain of Smog.
With Smog? Really? I wanted to talk about the Strixhaven card that makes it work.
Yeah, in combination with
Okay,
Chain of Smog.
okay,
Combination, yeah.
Yeah, at first I wanted to get the big elephant out of the room. It's the Witherbloom Apprentice.
Mhm.
Everybody knew that this card was... I'm not sure if I want to call it good. I mean, it has the
It has the win potential. The win
yeah, and
button.
also it has some results to back it up.
Yeah.
Now, because the latest challenge we had a lot of Bug Smog Delver, some Bug Smog Control.
Mhm.
The spiciest list I've seen was Chant Smog Phoenix list
Okay.
from Musa Sabi and Fish Diary.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it went 7th in the challenge, so
Okay, that's cool.
that's really
I
great.
mean, yeah. It is a question if this card or this combination of cards is really that strong, or if it's just a result of many people trying it out.
Yeah, I think that's the case. It's more the favorite of the month
Yeah, kind of.
feeling that I get with this.
But it might just be good and fine.
It's definitely good. You have some games versus or some matchups where it just doesn't matter. If you go turn 1, something. If you know your Death and Texas opponent is tapped out,
Yeah.
he can't do anything, and you just
It's
smoke him
just,
dead.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a win.
And that's sometimes really good. And also it's nice to have it in Delver as an I win button, because in Delver the Witherbloom Apprentice is also really great. It gives you some reach, like Bug has always lacked something like Lightning Bolt to
That's true.
finish the last points of damage. And the Witherbloom Apprentice drains your opponent with each Brainstorm, each Ponder, each Abrupt Decay, and 2 to 3 points of damage can go a long way.
Sure.
In
Yeah,
Delver.
also, the life gain is not to be neglected.
Especially with Blue-Red Delver being currently a really, really big play in the meta.
Yeah, I think Blue-Red Delver is probably at the moment the best Delver deck.
Yeah.
Blue-Red with the splash, with the 1 or 2
With the green splash of the
for the
sideboard.
sideboard, yeah.
Yeah,
That-
for the
I
close.
really like this part.
really great deck building here. But yeah, back to topic. Everybody knew that this card was tried out. Everybody knew that this card was a huge combo powerhouse.
Yeah.
But the next one was a little bit overlooked. It has also the Magecraft ability. It has Menace. It's a 3/2, and it has Ward, and it's probably the bigger sister of Young Pyromancer.
I mean, with bigger sister, you mean grandmother, but I kind of get it.
we
It's the
correctly
aunt.
assessed her as the Gilf, right?
Yeah, I think we talked about that in the spoiler session of the last episode.
Yeah, Satchmore Witch. So
I mean, it is fine to compare it to Young Pyromancer, but it can also be the bigger grandma of Monastery Mentor.
oh yeah,
It's also a good. It's kind of in between
Yeah.
the Young Pyromancer and Monastery Mentor. But you, I think, Philip, you before we started the episode, you told me that in combination with Chain of Smog, you can get infinite tokens.
Yeah.
And there are some decks trying this combination of cards, right?
Yeah, well, I have also already seen a Grixis Delver
Mm-hmm.
Sedgemoor Witch list
Yeah.
for the infinite tokens
Mm-hmm.
with Young Paramount and Sedgemoor Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have seen from Phil Gallagher the Dead Guy Ale build with the Sedgemoor Witch and with the combo. And I, for myself, have tried to run Callum's list without the mentors and with the Sedgemoor Witch. To a little bit of success. I think I've won one match out of 3. But that's probably
Broken confirmed.
that's probably because of the fact that I simply can't play cantrips and I really suck at them. So
Okay.
Yeah, seems like something to work on.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
For sure.
But I like the Esper colors, so maybe that's a way to work for me. But I won 2 or 3 games with infinite tokens,
Okay.
and that's really cool. So yeah, it seems like the Sedgemoor Witch is the real deal of this set. Yeah, it's probably the hidden power piece in this set. I hope we see a lot more with this card because I like the style.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the playstyle. I always liked Young Pyromancer. And I will try to brew something around Mardu colors with the Sedgemoor Witch and Young Pyromancer. I thought about going straight Rakdos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you need always some white in your life.
White is crucial, I think, nowadays, or currently, especially with Uro being an okay power level but big play in the format.
Yeah, it is one of the best options to grind nowadays.
Because I think you have no chance to win against control if you have no outs to Uro in game 1. And yeah, for that you need the Swords to Plowshares.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then you're in for, if you play swords, then you're in for a longer game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can you don't play bolts and swords together in the same deck, and if you forgo bolts, then you have to play a more slower and more longer game.
And for that, I think Sedgemoor, which is just fine. I mean, the ward is, I think, take a bolt to the face. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate because on this card, a ward, 2 mana or something like that would have been.
Even 1 mana would be way better.
Yeah, because the problem that the control decks have so much life gain against such slow mid-range decks with no.
Yeah, that's also the only thing that I really don't like about this card.
Yeah,
I love the manas because you can attack with it. Unlike Young Pyromancer, I like the tokens because they give you value when they die.
Yeah, but you have to think about it. If it wouldn't have ward takes 3 damage, it would still be fine. So we wouldn't even talk about this weakness. So I think
that's true.
It's
that's
just
it's a bonus.
a really, really small bonus.
Yeah.
Like if you go buying a dress and you get Smarties or something like that. But
you don't complain about a little box of Smarties, but you're also not thinking, wow, this is great, this makes my day.
just you buy a car and you
get
pay
Smarties.
15 grand and you get you have a smart here you get Smarties to use. But
You earned it.
it's the bonus.
It's the bonus, yeah.
But you wanted the merci. So yeah, I think we've covered the smog
Pretty
a little
much.
bit.
Liliana
And-
is probably not really
Play.
playable
No,
in Legacy with 6 mana.
No,
Okay,
no,
no.
definitely not.
you mean the sexy teacher,
The Professor owner.
Professor Onyx? Yeah, and with that out of the way, I think we cover up the next topic, which are sideboard choices.
And for the big part, this is Fracture and Rip Apart, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
I think there was 1-2 that I'm completely mindless missing currently. I will search it up, but talk about Riverpod and Fracture in the
Yeah, I
meanwhile.
think a Fracture is one easy piece that in Esper or white black based decks simply replaced Disenchant
Yeah.
completely. Because if you have black and white in your deck, you don't have any downsides of just replacing the card. Just similar to, in some ways, if you remember the Counterspell and Dovin's Veto kind of
Yeah.
swap, it kind of feels like similar to that.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. I like that. Yeah.
Kind of that, or I think there are some other ones too, but I can't remember right now.
Like it's not strictly better, but they're
They're-
almost.
Ba-
There are
ba-
only corner cases where Disenchant
Yeah,
would be better than Fracture.
yeah, and in the circumstance of the deck building surrounding and the mana costs that you are building your deck, the downsides are kind of non-existent or
Yeah.
not really there.
And the card that we forgot was Vanishing Verse.
Okay, is it a sideboard option or actually a main
I
deck?
think it's more main deck.
Vanishing Verse was seen already in the main deck, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I have never cast it. I can't say. I resolved the Fracture.
Yeah.
And it was great, and I didn't came to play a Vanishing Verse or rip apart, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, Vanishing Verse is really, really good because it can solve a lot of problems for odds of base decks, because it can hit something like, I mean, a Marit Large is not a problem for
For white base
for
decks,
white base decks, but something like a Chase.
You would think it's still a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Giving them 20 life in a slow control deck is still
Yeah.
yeah, it's
kind of hard always. Yeah.
yeah, that's true, but it can kill a Chase.
Sure.
It can kill a lot of
A
big
library,
things.
of
A
course,
library.
also.
Yeah, library is great. Library is really huge.
Yeah.
Because library is something that is for odds of colors main deck completely uncontested. Every
only
time
problem
I
is-
play with Mardu or something like that against the green base deck and they resolve game one as a library, it's basically running around trying to do something, stabbing like a giant with a small knife, and it doesn't do anything to them. So yeah,
The
Why
only
do you
thing-
have to call me out so bad?
The only thing that I would have loved for this card to do is exile an Uro. So
Yes.
disclaimer or shout out, or no, how do you say it? I'm making a petition to rename it Vanishing Uro, and it has the text exile target monocolored permanent or Uro. Then I'm fine with it.
Then it would be really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. It is a fine card
yeah,
for sure.
completely okay. Kills the Delver.
Case of Delva, very important.
I would love it if it would say exile target non-land permanent with less than one color or with less than
Yeah.
2 color.
You currently said it doesn't say land.
Yeah, it doesn't say land.
I
They
can
can-
play it with paint.
So you can exile lands if you have
Yeah.
painter. Yeah.
Completely.
Nice.
Yeah, nice, but,
But honestly,
got Pyroblast for this.
honestly, most of the time you would choose blue with painter, right?
Yeah.
Any other card that is not blue is not a target for Vanishing Verse in that case anymore,
Yeah.
because it is
but
multicolored. then.
lens doesn't have colors, so
Yeah, but all other cards. would-
you would still play any Pyroblast or Hydroblast
it is
over
not
this
really
card, and just.
Yeah.
I mean, the exile clause is good, but there are currently not that
I
much
think you don't care
instructable
about it.
things.
you don't care about this with painter. I
Because
think.
against Marit Large, you have the Baleful Strix in the build that I have, and yeah, I'm also base Grixis, so Vanishing Verse doesn't make any sense in this pile currently.
the big drawback is that it doesn't hit Uro, then it doesn't hit Clothis.
yeah,
And it doesn't hit Teferi.
yeah, Teferi is also.
These
a
are,
good
I
argument
think, the three
But
big...
it hits Omniscience, which is a huge player,
there. Mhm.
which was
Yeah,
completely
but
missed.
for this card, I'm not sure. For these free cards, they're kind of overlapping all the time. I'm not sure when I want to play Rip Apart,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure when I want to play Vanishing Verse.
I mean,
For sure, if I'm in Esper, in Esper
There's no
colors.
question.
There's no questions. I play Fracture or Vanishing Verse and not Rip Apart. And if I'm Jeskai, I can only play Rip Apart for sure.
But in Mardu,
Madu or four color, even four color.
like Queen Purchaser or Queen's Gambit.
Yeah. There's kind of tension there, and they're really overlapping. And for me personally, Fracture looks like the best of the bunch. Although I love the other cards, especially Rip Apart is so cool, but I'm not sure where I want to have this over Fracture when I can play either of them.
No.
And also Fracture or Vanishing Verse. The things we've talked about, the Uro, the Clothis, the Teferi. Fracture doesn't hit Uro, but Fracture, and also doesn't hit Clothis, but it at least kills the Teferi.
Yeah. And the black-white color combination is in general very good at dealing with creatures.
Yeah.
And the lack of Fracture not being able to deal with creatures is kind of not a problem here.
Yeah.
And Fracture covers all the rest.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest player. I would have loved for Rip Apart to go in the face.
That's true, yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
That's the only
Or to
thing.
be instant. In my taste, for my taste.
Yeah, but then I think go in the face and be instant, it's too good.
Either or. I'm fine with.
I mean, going to the face isn't really that big of a deal, I think. I think having an instant at instant speed would have been a really, really big player, because I'm always thinking, do I really want to Rip Apart, or is something like, how's the other card called? Completely missing it again.
Wear and tear?
Not wear and tear.
A braid.
A braid, because a braid instant speed is a really, really nice tool, and a lot of times, at least in Mardu, I can see it a little bit more because you don't have the card selection. But if you're playing it in something like Jeskai or something like that, maybe the instant speed is just a really, really big factor.
In Jeskai, I wouldn't play this over a braid, no question. But I would play it also over Disenchant. And you always play 1 to 2 Disenchant effects in the Jeskai colors.
But you play the wear and tear there.
But I would play this in Jeskai over wear tear. You
Yeah, I
don't
think
need to
so.
hit both. Wear tear, you need wear tear to hit 2 of your opponent's permanents for combo decks, like in Dredge or in Reanimator. They're really like wear tear. If your opponent goes turn 0 Leyline, Chalice on 1, then you want to have wear tear.
Yeah.
But for anything else, if your opponent just goes Chalice on 1 because they don't board in Leyline because you're not the graveyard deck, then Rip Apart seems infinitely better, in my opinion, because you can also, nice chase you've got there that has brainstormed. Rip it apart.
Yeah.
I
It's not
completely
bad.
forgot that Chase is an old planeswalker with okay-ish loyalty counters. Because nowadays a planeswalker starts with 5 to 6.
Oh yeah.
And their Rip Apart is, small planeswalker.
So
Anyway,
enough about the
This
Mardu
happened.
colors. The next big player that we have identified in the Strixhaven cards is Solve the Equation. This new tutor is a huge player in various Omni show, how you ever want to call it, builds. And it seems like it's a mainstay there now.
Yeah, a lot of lists are playing it. To summarize it, as you told me, it is nice to have it as extra Cunning Wish effects or extra Sneak and Show.
Show and tell.
Show and tell effects. Yeah. So it kind of works for both cases, and it also only costs 3 mana.
And it's pitchable to Force of Will.
And it's pitchable to Force of Will. Yeah.
Because a lot of the tutors for the main deck are costing nowadays 4 mana. or
Yeah.
3 mana with a lot of downside,
Mhm.
like Grim Tutor, for example, which is not pitchable to Force of Will.
I think
Anyways.
the best tutor that they printed nowadays was with Cloth Talisman.
Talisman, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also 3 mana.
Yeah, and you can't pass the turn after
It's
it.
black.
Mm-hmm.
And it's black. And yeah, Cunning Wish is just basically for an A+B combo deck a really, really good effect.
Yeah.
Because you need another half and it's easily gettable.
Yeah.
And yeah, for that I think Cunning Wish
You mean solve the
Wills-
equation, no?
yeah, solve the equation. We'll see a lot of play in decks that also play Cunning Wish.
Okay, yeah. There you go. I can also see solve the equation maybe in storm builds like Ant. I think it can maybe take the place of Dark Petition there. For sure not in Feral Tutor or Burning Wish, but maybe Dark Petition.
It could be the case for sure. The upside of solve the equation would be that you only need 3 mana to cast it, and
Yeah.
Dark Petition requires 5 mana. The problem would be that the net mana is still better for Dark Petition, as you get in the most cases
Yeah.
you get 3 black mana back, and it only would cost 2 mana in that case. Then might be better than Grim Tutor, for example. But the blue required to cast it would also be a little bit of a problem, since it requires to have both a focus on mana cost itself, as it
Yeah.
costs 3 mana, and also the mana type that you're producing with your lates, for example, with your petals. You can't easily go always sack my LEDs to black mana, because all your stuff that you're getting would cost black mana.
Yeah.
And now you have to account for a little bit of blue, and sometimes this is what I would call the test problem, that because chess has exactly this problem with red and black, then this could cause a problem. And if you would shift the tutor effects from black to blue.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I
can see
think
this,
I think some cases or some lists or people would or can easily try it out. I think
Yeah.
it's definitely worth.
What I want to say, what's really great is I've looked at the latest Ant lists and I've got Ant in paper.
Yeah, I think
I probably need to play this or to
you think
build it. Yeah.
you need 2 undergrounds here. I think one Bayou, one Tropical Island, and
The volcanic.
A volcanic, yeah, and
Right.
2 basics.
And the
that's it.
lates.
The lids,
Yeah.
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 That was so great when I went over the list and I think, oh, I've got that. Oh my god, that's great.
I mean, I'm
I
missing
can play not a shitty deck.
that would require Ant not being a shitty deck, but yeah. No, I think Ant is just fine now.
Yeah.
It should be fine. Yeah, I think solve the equation is better in non-combo turns, but Dark Petition is better in combo turns. And as we talked about it, I need to try it because I was, solve the equation, legacy card. I didn't even realize that it was modern playable. I really have to try this
Modern
in Storm.
Yeah.
I completely...
What's modern? I sold my Shocklands today. What's modern?
I mean, it's a really good point because Secret Lair Shocklands are available in America for half the price that
Oh
you
God.
would get the Shocklands, apparently. So you can buy because you can buy 3 each or something like that. But yeah, it is half the retail price of what is the website that the Americans always use?
TCG player?
Yeah, it's on TCG Player Mid, 50% of that.
Okay, wow,
So-
that's a great deal.
Yeah, but that means basically all the stores that have Shocklands sitting around basically have reduced in half the price. Because you get it from WotC directly, the single is cheaper than from the game stores.
So that was a good decision that I made.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've sold mine last year sometime.
I have just some of them left for nostalgia reasons. But
Yeah.
I think
Because of the nice names.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I
And
think
with the cards, I think we can move on to the next topic, which is Paper Legacy. And this is returning.
Kind of.
Kind of,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Kind of
it is
returning, yeah.
returning, yeah.
Some of you listeners will know that we are hosting tournaments over webcam. And this is tournaments is a little bit far-fetched, but this is now the second one.
Yeah, we're already plural.
Yeah, we are now plural. So we are hosting a webcam tournament for our Austrian Legacy fellow players. And we will stream this one on the 15th of May. I'm not sure on which time we will
I mean, time is not
Not really
currently
set, yeah.
not set.
set in stone now. But it's on in the afternoon here in Austria. So I think if you go to American time, it would be on the 11 a.m. Or something like that.
I mean, it should be around between lunch and breakfast, something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. So if you have nothing to do on Saturday, join in. You can watch us on twitch.tv/Austrian_legacy.
And if you have time for another day, the top 8 will be streamed on Sunday, most likely this at the same time as the Saturday event.
And we will commentate on the whole event for you. And we think this will be a lot of fun. And it would be great to see some of you there.
Yeah. With this,
I think we have just covered everything up in this episode.
Yeah.
Where can we find you, Peter?
you can find me on Twitter. It's at UnicornLord without MTG. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at UnicornLord, but the O in the Lord is a 0. Where can we find you, Daniel?
At Flying Delva. Not MTG.
This is not a running game.
Just at Flying Delva on Twitter, yeah. And Philip, where can I find you?
And you can find me, as always, at PhinekMTG, PHINEKMTG.
The only MTG.
The only one.
I think I renamed myself to at UnicornLord, not MTG.
And in response, MTG.
And you can find the whole cast on Twitter. It's at response_legacy.
Without MTG.
MTG, yeah.
Yeah. With this, the end.